I'm O.W. Root, and this is Pleasant Peninsula. How do you jump in the lake? The big lake in particular. Well, there's a couple ways, and we all know them. And I could describe them, but I'm going to let Bruce Catton do it instead. Bruce Catton wrote this wonderful book, Waiting for the Morning Train. I've got it right here. Catton was born in 1899, and he wrote this in 1972. He writes about life in northern Michigan in the early part of the 20th century. He grew up in Benzonia, and it's a wonderful book. Wonderful insights into life up north. A world that feels far from ours today. And he writes this passage about jumping in the lake and the two methods of jumping in the lake. And instead of reading aloud to you right here, I'm going to play a reel that we did the other week with the text of that passage set over a video jumping in the lake. So let's roll that. We simply went into the woods overlooking the lake, hung our clothing on the branches of saplings, put on our bathing suits, and ran downhill to go into the water. There are two schools of thought about the way to go in. The water was cold and the first plunge was agonizing. The hardiest ran straight ahead, splashing vigorously and yelling like men under torture. When it was thigh deep, they threw themselves in, face down, and took the worst shock all at once. Most of us preferred to wade out slowly, adjusting ourselves by degrees. The only trouble with this was that anyone who had got in ahead of you was certain to splash you. Whatever we did, we knew that once we were wet all over, the water ceased to feel cold. It became just exactly right. I love that video. I love that text, that passage, those words. The feelings he describes, we all know. You know it. We've both taken both of those paths. We both charged in and flung ourselves face forward or face first into the water. And we've also tried to soften the blow by going slow. We've done the splashing and we've been splashed as well. It's incredible that we relate to that passage, that it's so relevant and so true to us today. He's writing way back in the early 1900s, before there were even cars up here. And that's how far back we're talking. Benzonia, I've said this before on the show multiple times, but Benzonia, or a place like Benzonia, feels far away in 2025. In 1899 and 1910 and 1920, be another universe. And yet, those words, that experience of jumping the lake is the same today as it was then. We relate to the world differently with technology. Technology really shapes our experience in the world generationally. This camera, our phone, our microwave, our refrigerators, our airplanes, and our internet. The experience of life changes over the generations. But nature doesn't change. It's eternal, almost. Or it's as close to as eternal in the material world as we have. It doesn't change. The big lake was there a long time ago, and it'll be there a long time from now. Same thing with the little inland lakes as well. And to read that passage feels like reaching back in time. And that's what literature is, or old literature is, reading old memoirs. It's reaching back in time. And reading that experience, or reading about that experience we all know. And then acting out that experience 100 years later, and having it be the same. It's a beautiful thing. It's connecting with something beyond us. It's time traveling, in a sense. It's the beauty of history, the beauty of nature, the beauty of something older or longer, or more permanent than us. It's a wonderful passage and a wonderful book. Waiting for the Morning Train by Bruce Catton. The lumberjack. Who is the lumberjack? Is he French? Is he Italian? Is he Croatian? No, he's American. That archetype of the man in the woods with the saw and the axe, gathering lumber to build the new world. It's an American archetype, and it's one that we don't see too much these days. But he's still there if you know where to look. Jack Pine Lumberjack shows, Mackinaw City. You can find a couple lumberjacks every day all summer. Instead of telling you about what they do, I want to show you. So let's roll that.
The back, Owen's right behind you. Hand them out.
Yeah, so my favorite part about this sport is the camaraderie, actually. You get to meet a bunch of people from all over the world, and I have a lot of friends growing up throughout the sport, and yeah, that's my favorite part about the sport.
I think what I love most about this is just the community. I mean, you go to a competition, you're with 50 other guys, everyone's helping everybody, and like it's a sport I never thought I'd get myself into, and now I have an opportunity to represent USA. So it's a pretty awesome sport, a great community, and I love it.
Climb a tree, he'd limit, he'd top it off.
There you are.
And winning it for the Mackinaw City camp. Let's hear it for Dakota.
Unbelievable. Unbelievable. These guys are more athletic, more agile, more jacked than I think I ever could possibly be. They're climbing up these tall logs. I mean, I think I might get sick at the top of that thing, just from the height. You know, they're chopping at these logs. Anybody who's chopped wood knows how you kind of stand back and keep your feet back. I mean, they're like this close to their feet. Their precision is absolutely nuts. The thing that I think was really interesting about both those guys I talked to is, first of all, they said that the thing they love about the sport, and they called it a sport, and I think that's important because it is a sport. It requires agility, athleticism, daring, bravery. I mean, honestly, I think this sport is perhaps more dangerous than most sports. Of course it's a sport, but what they said they loved most about it was the community and the camaraderie. I thought that was really interesting. They both shared that same feeling, to be around all these other guys doing this same thing, these incredible feats. What else I thought was so interesting is that it's such an American sport. You know, we have sports like football, baseball, soccer, and everybody knows baseball is the American pastime. That's what it's called, the American pastime. But honestly, I mean, if we're comparing these lumberjack competitions, maybe more American than baseball, really. I think there's an argument to be made there. You know, we don't see the figure of the lumberjack too much these days. We now have machines to cut down the logs, and our technological world is different than the world of the frontier. Those grainy black and white photos of those lumberjacks standing next to a huge pile of logs in 1906 or whenever. But we miss that archetype. We long for that archetype. There's a meaning there, and it's in the sport, the athleticism, the agility, the daring, the bravery, the courage, the going out, the going forward, the hardiness, the strength and the resolve. Those are New World values. They're things that we have traditionally lauded in the New World. It's the identity, or it was. It's not surprising that we don't see the figure of the lumberjack much these days, because those values are also somewhat absent these days. And the reason why people go to see those lumberjack shows, it's because it's impressive, it's because it's cool, it's because it's fun, because they put on a great show. But it's also because somewhere, in a little way, people long for that image of the lumberjack and what he means. It's deep in our American collective unconscious or subconscious, whatever it is. It's deep there. And seeing them reminds us something we miss and we wish was back. Or maybe we want for ourselves. The lumberjack. I'm O.W. Root for Michigan Enjoyer.